So we got about 800 inches of snow today, and I'm a little housebound and maybe a touch on the bored side, but it's a good time to do a video because I really got something I want to talk to you guys about today. So let's hop into it. Earlier today, I watched a video from a photographer out of Japan who I can't even pronounce his name, so I'll put a link to it down in the description. But it was interesting. His whole philosophy, or what he talked about in this video, was his photographs, and we can read this different to see his artwork, our artwork, my artwork, your artwork, is more than just some picture that you slide over with your finger on task to the next picture you look at. And I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it made a lot of sense because, of course, it gives you both sides of the social media question that you've always got to kind of ask yourself. And the first one is, am I posting these pictures just for the ability to have that kind of big dopamine hit that someone liked what I did? And the other is, am I posting pictures in a way that really represents and supports the art that I make? And it's a tricky thing because at the same time, you don't want to be the guy who's unknown for his entire or her entire life because you've never posted anything to social media and because it's always felt wrong to you. Because you do need to be known to get known a little bit, if you know what I mean. You've got to show people what you do. So that part I understand, but the other part I also understand. I understand it really deeply, which is while I'm posting something to Instagram, am I doing it just for likes? And am I doing it in a way that truly represents the work that I do and the work that I have in the best way possible? And I think we all kind of bump into this wall a little bit. And, truthfully, if I look at my Instagram account, my Instagram feed, for lack of a better phrase, probably isn't the best in the world. And it's something I constantly struggle with. And I feel that if I'm struggling with it, well, probably other people are too. I mean, I'm not the greatest at everything at what I do, and Instagram's clearly something I'm not great at, but I'm good enough at it. There are people who I see online who, gosh, it's like every day of their day in the studio, it's all like a story, and they show you how they tape things, they show you how they paint things, they show you everything, and it's like, boy, I don't want to be that performative in the studio, because what I want to do in the studio, I want to go into it, I want to work on what I work on, and then kind of do the work and then show you the work. But I also know that leads a really big kind of open area, like, well, this is interesting. What's your process? How does your process work? And the other people, I feel like I know so much of their work that when I see the final work, I'm kind of less interested in it. And then I wonder, is it really just about being performative? And that's a concern to me. That's a really valid concern. And I think a lot of people have that as well. And then, of course, you flip that all the way on its head and you hear things like, people only find you on Instagram now, or you have to be on Instagram, you have to show the world what you do. And all of that's true because in what we do, there's both kind of like being honest to how we make the work, but also being honest about how we represent ourselves in our work. And those things I find are really, really important and really interesting. And the trouble I've always had is how do I kind of split that middle? How do I really show my work in the best light? And how do I present it on Instagram, which is kind of an informal way of showing your work, but also formal at the same time. So it runs a funny line. And for artists, it's really tricky because there's a lot of show and tell in what we do. And then all that comes back around to when I put my work out there. Is it really just for someone to flip their finger over it to go on to the next picture? And it's a real valid question. And it's such a valid question in a way that it has literally made me rethink exactly what my Instagram feed looks like. And I wouldn't be surprised if I'm snowbound for the rest of this week if I take down my entire Instagram feed and rebuild it in a different way. It's that kind of a large-scale question to me. Anyhow, before the world ends and I tear down my Instagram account, like and subscribe if you can. Hope to talk to you next time. Got kind of an interesting coming up on Epstein and money in the art world, so stand by for that one. That'll probably get filmed later this week. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay warm. I'll talk to you soon.